Greetings guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Monette and this is my channel, Evolve with Monette. For those of you that are new here, I'm a professional intuitive empath, so good to share energy with you today. We're going to jump right into it. So I have a couple of things just on my mind. Thank you for inviting me in. Come on in. For those of you that are long time here, you know you don't usually see me this way. It's a wash day. It's a beach day. It's a wash day. It's a lot of things that are about to happen today. So I'm going to go submerge my head and really clear and clean my crown, but then deep clean, condition, scrub, hair mask, all the things. So you guys are seeing me in my natural state. But being a Leo, I love it. I love it. You know, if you know a Leo, they live for a good mane. You also guys are seeing me pretty al natural today. All right, so let's get into it and let's talk about some of the things that were channeled this morning in my download before I get going to the beach. Today is not a beach work day, they said. They said today I'm supposed to go and do my own work for myself today. So one of the things that was kind of bouncing through my head was when it's time for a breakup, because I was listening to clients over the last few days as they were talking about some of the things that they were going through and some of the things that they, you know, some of the ways that they process what's happening when it's breakup time. And I wanted to pass this along to you. You will start fantasizing about exiting a relationship. You'll start fantasizing about wanting to leave a situation. It will not feel right for you. And you will just be, you know, you guys, it's like there's some cliche things like if the person will get on your nerves, you won't be able to stand them. It's going to be overwhelming. But the thing about it is that's really happening is that your exit strategy is downloading to you. And so you need to understand that that's happening, and then that's okay that that happens, and you're allowed to leave. Empaths, I realize that a lot of us didn't have the benefit of, and the luxury, I would say, of understanding our ability to want to leave a situation. A lot of us were so codependent and have a lot of abandonment wounds. This is not an attack on you, but it is to say it's really important to acknowledge the things that actually were, you know, kind of struggles for you guys. I'm trying to get this balance here, but the things that were kind of struggles for you. So, and one of those things that were struggles for you is getting out of a relationship, specifically because really our motto as empaths is to stay in a relationship as long as we can, to stay in it as long as we possibly can, because we want to prove that we are a good woman or man, that we're worthwhile, whatever the case may be. And your angels are saying that there's a new way. And when you start to heal a lot of that codependency and you start to deal with some of those abandonment wounds, what's going to happen is that you no longer feel that way. You no longer want to stay, and you're very in touch with your emotions about getting away. Specifically about getting away, guys, okay? So pay attention to that. Pay attention to your emotions with that. Pay attention to how you feel about that. But it will not be comfortable for you to stay in connections with people. One of the ways that it comes up for me is I start to fantasize about escaping. Like, I can't wait to leave, and all of the things that get on my nerves like are personified, magnified, and it's just so clear to me that I'm in a toxic situation. So pay attention to your internal tells about that, what that looks like, what that feels like, because if you dismiss it, you're going to dismiss I call them obvious exit ramps, where your angels are saying you don't have to stay here anymore, you can leave, you can get away. And your angels will literally show you the way out of a situation, and it could be very much through that weird frustration that you can't even understand why you're feeling it. You don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to you. You're like, why do I feel this way? And also for a lot of you guys, it's new. That feeling is new. It's a new energy. It's a new feeling. It's a new sensation to be the person that's doing the breaking, so to speak. And that's because you're taking back a lot of your power, and you're not letting people have power over you anymore. And one of the things that I notice with a lot of narcissistic dynamics or toxic relationship dynamics is that they don't realize what you might have in store. And I'm hearing, I'm not a killer, but don't push me. I'm also hearing, don't push me because I'm close to the edge. A lot of us are so very long suffering in a lot of our connections, and so patient and so kind and so measured in our responses, that people might not imagine how fucking fed up we are. Fed up, I'm fed up, fed up, fed up. That's what I'm channeling, that song. They might not imagine how fed up we are, how frustrated we are, how overwhelming the whole situation is, and how much we want to escape. My favorite method of escape, really, is for someone to be absolutely sure that I'm not going to leave them, and then I flee. And I don't just do it to be mean. I do it because they've taken me for granted. And you guys can understand exactly what I'm saying. You maybe have been taken for granted in that way. You've had someone mistreat you. You've had someone not value what you bring to the relationship or how you show up, and they've done it repeatedly, time and time and time and time again, and they still want you to stay there. And that's one of the things that I find really, like, not only disheartening but like triggering. I'm like, so you want me to stay here for your disrespect? You want me to stay here for you to try to like flaunt whomever is next in my face? And I'm all for whoever's next. That's one of the things that I do specifically in my exits, is I make sure that whoever, because I'm compassionate, I'm an empath, of course I'm compassionate, I make sure that whoever I am leaving has a safety net, has a support system. And I know you're like, what, Monette, they're a narcissist, why do you care, da da da, or even new supply, to be very fair, because I know what my absence is going to be like. I know how it will feel for them when I'm not there. Empath, you better know who you are. You better know how powerful it is when you're not there. So I am not cruel, but I'm not also a glutton for punishment. Yes? So I don't stay in a situation where someone is undervaluing me or showing me or being rude to me or telling me outrightly, I don't care about you, which I've had happen. I know you think that's crazy, but people directly communicate to me how much they don't support me. It happens every single time. It's odd. It's like they're reading out of the same handbook. But oh, someone's mad about me saying that. Did y'all hear that thing that fell? I don't even know what it was. I'm in the house by myself. So we're going to just go ahead and keep going. But they hate that. they hate it for me to say that. They hate it for you to hear it. That's okay. I'm not scared of the paranormal on any day. So unless something like literally flies across the room, then okay. Then you're documented and you guys got to see it happen. You got to see it happen live. But what I'm going to tell you is this. These people don't respect you guys. And so I still make sure that they have a support system in place. They have family members, maybe new supply, maybe new friends. Those the same ones they were trying to throw in my face. I seal them with that. Because I know what I offer, and I know that when they know that they can't have me back, I know that that's going to cause, proverbial heart attacks, let's just say. It's going to cause them to be in distress in a certain kind of way that they can't even anticipate. And that's what happens when you leave too. So I'm kind and gracious, and I'm always like, hey, it looks like you got a new boo, looks like you got some friends, look at you. Like, I'm real supportive, like, good luck to you. And then I exit. Now, you can't always do that, but if you can, I suggest it as a measure of your compassion, which is endless. Do they deserve any of your compassion? Absolutely not. Do they deserve your kindness? Were they considerate of you? No, they were not. But I know, again, the gaping hole that my absence will leave, because I know how I love somebody so completely. And empath, you guys are the same. There is such a complete love and a complete energy that you come equipped with to give to those around you, even if they're taking you for granted, even if they're narcissistic, even if they're treating you unkind. Okay, so be kind if you want to, and make sure that they have an exit plan to manage the loss of you, because that is something that they're going to definitely need to do, is manage the loss of you. Also pay attention to what people say to you, okay? So when someone's getting ready to discard you, their language and verbiage will change. This is fascinating. I love all of the things falling. That's so peculiar. So I'm wondering if my husband touched something before he left this morning. It's pretty early, guys. So the house is completely shut down and dark, except for my little corner here at my office where I'm working. So interesting. The narcissists and the haters are lurking, and they want your attention. Okay? So make sure you shut that portal down completely when you leave and escape. Whew. Absolutely not. We rebuke that in the name of Jesus, but we're not going to stand in fear. That is what I'm supposed to do here, is transmute this energy. So sometimes I get to take the hits and weird things happen. So here we are. Anyway, you pay attention to what they're saying to you. When a narcissist is getting ready to discard you, they're going to start saying very particular language to you. I had one person, toxic, low vibrational narcissist, you name it, pick of the litter, whatever they were. But someone in the last year started to specifically tell me, I said things to me that their friends and family would never know that they would say, because that's usually how narcissists like to play, especially with covert people. They like to throw rocks and hide their hands. And so this person said to me, I don't support, I never wanted to be an entrepreneur. Something about entrepreneurs. She was going off on some diatribe about how she didn't support entrepreneurial work, or she just had zero desire to be an entrepreneur. Narcissist egos are incredibly fragile, and they're low vibrational people too. All of us have been low vibrational too, so they're that part. Not all of us are narcissists, but they, what I imagine was happening, just to give you guys some clarity, is that she felt offended by my existence. Okay, so it wasn't anything that I was doing. I was incredibly supportive of her profession, and her aspirations, her promotions, her comeuppances in any capacity. But people want you to do well, just not better than them, actually. So in any case, she, I was supportive and was quite literally, for most of our connection, the underdog in it, but it didn't stay that way. And so that's when the real demons and the narcissist or low vibrational toxic people will come out to play. And so she started to tell me to my face, what is the point of entrepreneurship? I just have zero desire to be an entrepreneur. Now, this is words that her family would never think that she would say. They would think, oh my gosh, she supports Monette so completely. Absolutely not. She also came to me and said, that she doesn't watch my videos. Now, here's the thing, guys. For anybody that becomes friends with me, or any client that I have no expectations that you support me. In fact, for some people, there are so many times in my life where I've almost wished that I hadn't shared that this is my other part of my life, because I compartmentalize pretty well, because then it starts this whole weird obsession and thing that happens, because not everyone is healthy, like a lot of you guys here watching that are here to utilize whatever I'm doing as an encyclopedic work to find what you need and kind of flip through my catalog of videos and figure out how to heal whatever it is that's ailing you. A lot of you guys are here for real reasons, and you're using it for the intended purposes, but when you have family in your life, they just become looky-loos. Anybody that's on social media, which we all are, understands exactly what that is. You don't have to have a platform, you don't have to be teaching, you could just exist, and people will try to find you. And some of us hide from social media specifically because we don't even want to be involved in that kind of energy or that kind of drama, right? But in any case, that is that's a whole nother situation for another day. But what I find I have regretted, and I am deeply considering it as I go forward, I don't want everybody that I know that knows me in my face, because I built whatever I built very quietly, and I built it without any support from people that were friends and family, really. Very few. And even if they were supporting me, then they would turn into what I'm telling you I'm dealing with or have dealt with in the recent years, which is crazy. And you can't protect yourself from everything. A lot of you clients out there that I work with know that. I tell you that all the time. You're going to have to take a chance on people. You're going to have to take a chance on love. And guess what, guys? I'm not just saying it to you. I always say, walk it like I talk it. They challenge me all the time with wanting to be hermetic and hide and just stay in this little corner. And they're like, no, more people need your help. So this is not an egotistical thing. Y'all, it's quite the opposite. Sometimes I just want to run and hide, okay? Just like you guys, I just want to run and hide because it's too much energy and I have to filter it. You just heard what happened. Shit falls around me. Paranormal things, light bulbs blow out, lights flicker, all kinds of weird stuff happens in my life because of the work that I do and because I'm transmuting a lot of it. Transmitting is what I just said. I meant to say transmuting, but I'm also transmitting a lot of energy coming through my crown chakra, coming through my head, and then also transmuting things on your behalf too, and then for me too, and then dealing with the real friends and family in front of my face that really think they can handle being in the light, but then the light gets a little too bright and turns out their demons don't like the light. That part. Anyway, So she also said to me, no, I don't support your entrepreneurial pursuits, and I have no desire to be an entrepreneur. Again, I imagine that she started to feel attacked by my success, even though, or she was attacked, she felt attacked, they said specifically, by someone who was proximal to me, who was a friend of mine, and I think she was trying to jab her. She was a big jabber, like, you know how coverts do, a lot of secret jabs. So she was jealous about someone else who was a career entrepreneurial boss babe, be energy, and she felt a way about that, but everything was passive aggressive because that's the way that people will be. And so it was left for me to decode. Fortunately, I had a Gemini, a mother, who helped me figure out every riddle. Thank God for it. I used to hate it, and now I'm like, oh, this is why. This is why you existed, mother. This is why our dynamic was what it was, because you wanted me to figure out later in life how to kill these narcissistic bugs. In any case, she said that to me. She said she doesn't watch my channel. Like I was saying, I digressed. I have no expectations that anybody watches my channel. I don't push for any friendship, lovership, soulmate datingship, a friendship. I keep saying the same thing, but family ship, new people. I don't push for people to watch my channel because I think it's such a blessing. When people tell me they watch my channel, I'm genuinely grateful. And if they have feedback for me, I'm genuinely grateful. But I'm also very careful because when you are the one at the helm of the ship, there will be a lot of people that want to come along and tell you how to steer it. And unless it's true constructive criticism or feedback, or I have built a rapport with someone, I don't really allow them into my mental space regarding the work that I do, because people have come in and tried to undermine me the whole time and told me things like, I hate your this, I hate your that, I hate your face, I hate your backdrop, you're too this, you're too that, why do you think you deserve to be on there? I've had people from the beginning, people that were my dearest friends, I thought, that I cut the fuck out, that have been hating in that way. Sometimes they'll hate out loud, sometimes they'll hate in the roundabout way, sometimes they'll do what this woman just did and say it directly to my face. So I can't internalize everything that comes my way. I also don't allow or require people to show up for me here in this space to be cheerleaders for me, because if you have a vision, then you have to let that vision be. I can't take advice from everybody because everyone isn't mandated to do what I do. The life that I built without a blueprint. There's no one in my life that looks like this. It's not a family lineage. There's no one around me. In fact, everyone told me I was crazy. And so here we are, absolutely crazy. Throw out the way it should be. Doing exactly what I was called to do and dispatched in to do uniquely. And that's the thing. Don't let anybody dissuade you from what your plan is, from your artistry, from whatever your output is. But people will want to weigh in because they want to be attached to it, or because they want to get you off track. Secretly, they might have jealousies. So my angels will always caution me about who I allow in to advise me, okay? And it doesn't mean I don't take advice. We're not Tyler Perry. Sometimes you do need a writer's room, right? But it does mean that I'm very, very attuned to when people start to go rogue, when their jealousies flare up, when their demons arise, when an entity jumps into their body and they're no longer the nice person that was smiling and friendly, and now there's someone who wants to end me. I'm channeling Billie Eilish. I want to end you. They're now someone that wants to end me. And it's not even me that they may want to end. If they were to step out of their body away from me, then maybe they would go back to being nice and happy, but whatever is inside of me triggers them. And angels and empaths watching, earth angels and empaths, the same is true of you. It's not that people are all inherently evil, but there might be something that you do specifically that triggers people around you. And it's not because you're doing anything wrong. I'm standing very much in my power, but I have been told I'm wrong from every angle until people started to come in that were dispatched in to find me, and I found out how right I was, or how much the work that I do is helpful. So you have to be your own discernment there, because even if someone's your bestie, they can go rogue and the relationship can end up in beyond disrepair. Or if they're your mom, or if they're your cousin, or if they're your favorite uncle, or if they're your co-worker, husband, wife, whatever. You have to be careful about people and how they speak into your life. Even with my husband, when I used to freelance on the lines, the psychic lines, my husband's a Capricorn, so money and work is his focus. Those are his two things. And he would say to me, why don't you keep the people on the line longer? Like, I can tell you're trying to wrap the call. Well, God hired me, honey. Who's going to fire me? I don't have to like milk money out of anybody. My bills, God bless, are taken care of by God. It's above me, okay? My bank account is managed by the Lord. My bank accounts are managed by the Lord. God bless. And so that means when they're almost empty or when they're full and flush, that has all been gifted to me spiritually. That is not, there's a money exchange of energy, certainly with my clients, but I don't have to hustle. I don't have to pull harder. I don't have to keep you on the line. I would be happy to get off sometimes, because sometimes it was the most, okay, with some of my clients. And sometimes it was very enjoyable, okay? Shout out to the ones that make it fun and do their work and understand that there's work to be done. I so appreciate you. The teacher in me values the work that you do to come to me as a pure channel and a pure vessel to help me really understand, what I'm here to do. You validate my existence, so thank you. Anyway, I digress again. But I didn't take the ethos or the advice of my husband, because in his mind, he's like, money is money. And I'm like, honey, have I not shown you how I manifest in every way? Not just financially. Trust God that works through me. Don't just trust me. Trust what you see. Trust what you've seen. And so I didn't take his advice, because he was operating out of his very earthen Pentacle, King of Pentacles, Capricorn, Saturn, Father of Lessons energy. And to anybody watching, maybe he was right, but it didn't feel right to me spiritually. I knew God would provide for me in the way God was supposed to. I didn't have to milk anybody or have someone stay on the line longer than they needed to. Okay, that part. Trust your instincts. Don't let anybody advise you. Another quick message. I had a mentor, someone I loved dearly. He was a soulmate if ever there was. It was the most purest soulmate I ever had. And it was in the beginning of me really starting this work, and he was like, well, you are West Indian, so like really play up your Caribbean side, and like you should put on a rap, and you should like speak in your accent all the time, because when I'm around my family, my accent will come out more if I like get like excited. You guys may have heard it here, or you can hear my West Indian accent kind of slip out, but he was like, you should really play up your accent. Like he wanted me to be Miss Cleo, right? We all know Miss Cleo was an actress, whatever. She wasn't really psychic, but she played a psychic on TV. So he wanted to be a character. He wanted me to be a caricature of myself. And I remember we were out to lunch one day with some of his friends. His one friend who was a professor and was dating an acting coach, and she was an artist and a comedian and all that stuff. So we're out to lunch, and her name was Michelle, and she was fantastic. And I will never forget. I'm all like nubile and young and not knowing really what direction this is going. It's just starting to pick up for me. This is many years ago. And Michelle, he was like saying, you should do this and you should do that. And his friend was co-signing, right? And Michelle looks at me and she was like, you should be exactly who you're supposed to be. You're not listening to her, Jan. She does not want to be a caricature. She doesn't want to be a call me now caricature. Now, ironically, I ended up working on the lines and being a call me now, but I did it realistically. Like my gift was truly my gift. I didn't have to play it up. I didn't have to underplay it. So even though he meant well for me, and this man loved me, and he loved me beyond the moon and the stars, he loved me in life, afterlife, I just adore this man. However, he wasn't right. And I had to know who I was so that I wouldn't pivot and try to make a thing happen that wasn't authentic to me. Now, does that mean I won't come on here with a hair wrap? Absolutely. But I'm not playing up my ethnicity to draw in clients to me, because that's fake. If I end up talking to you, like we West Indian, or you might be West Indian on my line, and I slip into my dialect, then that's me. And that's colloquial, that's code switching, that's a lot of things that are happening there. But it's not me trying to be a fake persona in order to garner more clients or more financial security. Stand in your authenticity. That's what actually pays. Me being real is what has been the biggest payoff for me, and not listening to people that would say, I had like a ex of mine, my twin, was like, I hate your background. Like, I had this piece of art that I made. She was like, I hate your background. I hate everything. It's like too much. It's too this. It's too that. If someone tells you you're too much, you are for them. But fortunately, I can't tell you how many emails, notes, letters, little comments that have been left underneath my comment section of people being like, I love your energy. I love your look. I love how busy that shit is. You just never know until you know for you. So don't let anybody distract you or dissuade you from your truth. Okay? So I didn't take my mentor, who I adored's advice. I didn't take my hating ass toxic twins advice. And I didn't take my own husband's advice regarding treating people I felt like that wasn't integral or right. And I didn't like fault him for that, because he's a Capricorn. I really get our astrology. He truly, really felt like more money, more money, more money. And I'm like, we can go beyond more money. We can go beyond the financial realm of it if I'm integral with it, which is exactly what happened. He watched it unfold. Anyway, back to people not supporting you in your face. So people that are getting ready to discard you will start to tell you that. So I was going back to, she said, I don't watch your channel. And I don't request anybody to, and I almost don't really want anybody to. If you're guided here, I believe you're supposed to be here. Those are my sweetest favorite comments, are people that are like, oh my God, I came here because I saw this, but I stayed. Like literally, those blow my heart away, my mind away. It makes me feel like all of this is worth it, and I'm being divinely guided and I'm listening. So she was like, I don't watch your channel. I'm not like supporting you. I don't watch your channel. I don't believe in entrepreneurship. There was a gift I got her. She was like, I don't like your gifts. Like, listen, there's a thing from 50 Cent where he says, someone can only tell you so many times how much they don't like you before you're like, okay, well, let me just push myself away from you. And so I, in fact, did follow through with that, because how rude can someone be? How willful. What she was trying to do was provoke like past injuries, but unlike her, I actually had heels. I was like watching her and it was amusing to me. And I was like, the big reveal is you're the one who's going to be fucked up when I'm not here. I don't give a fuck about your energy at all. I have done the work I was supposed to do with you, so I can walk away feeling like I did a good work, you know? My mother always challenged me to do the best you can do. And then after that, not even the angels in heaven can challenge you. And I found that to be the truth. When I show up in someone's life, empath, when you show up in someone's life, empath, we are integral. We do a thorough work in our connections and our relationships. We don't have assets. So when I'm in someone's life, I literally have a checklist of things I want to see go right for you. And that doesn't mean that after the checklist, I'm just waiting to leave or abandon you. It does mean that my staying is predicated upon your respect. That part, and your authenticity, okay? I don't care if you like me, but you better respect me. And when I feel like people start to go rogue and they get disrespectful, then that's when I start to fantasize about that exit, because it's not a place I can be. Excuse me, we are no longer in spiritual alignment, actually. And I want you to pay attention to what that feels like for you too. Okay? Because people will want to guilt you into, and that was exactly what was happening in that last connection. She wanted to guilt me into staying into the relationship because she wanted me to run off the past fumes of when she was kind and when she was being more authentic, and when I was not a threat in whatever capacity to her, or my absence wouldn't be a threat. There was a lot of things, but I just was so busy with my life that I couldn't, I didn't investigate as much as I normally do. But she had a lot of triggers around me, and so she wanted to share with me, like most petulant children will do, what she was feeling. So anytime you see a tantrum and you see a kid throwing themselves out on the floor, what they feel is a loss of control. And what they want to pass along to the mother, to the parents, to the sibling, whomever is in the charge and care of them, is, here's my despair. Look at it here. Look at my anger. Look at my ice fur. I'm mad. I need you to care. And so she was having that level of a tantrum, except she was at her big ass age acting that way, which is okay. We are not, exempt from having a tantrum at whatever big ass age we're at. I have tantrums too. But when someone's having a tantrum and they want it to affect you, then you have to become the parent, which is what I had to do. And I had to look at her and say, now, you know better, and these emotions belong to you. She was trying to project onto me guilt and obligatory duty. And I'm like, oh my, sweetie, you didn't read the soul contract. I met and exceeded everything that I said I would do in this connection. I came in, I held space for you this way. I came in, I spoke life over your career. I came in, I spoke life over your financial upward trajectory. I came in, I spoke life over your, whatever happened with her family, the people that she loved in her family. I I did everything. I have a checklist that I can see I mission accomplished. So there is no guilt that I have anymore to stay here because I did everything I was supposed to do. Repair, repair, repair. Up level, up level, up level. Now you just want me here proximal to you, but what are you offering me? See, that's the thing, empath, is it's something that we, again, this is why I say we're not used to planning an escape or the feelings of I don't want to be here, or I'm frustrated, or this person's pissing me off, or I'm disgusted with their treatment, I'm disgusted with their behavior, because we're so used to being the person that's codependent. So we don't ever get to feel those feelings. And I'll tell you, I know I've healed because I feel those feelings all the time now. I'll be looking at people all the time like, I can't stand it here anymore. I did my work, which is an indicator too that your work there is in fact done. That is something that I say whenever I leave a person or a situation. I'm usually in their space, whether they realize it or not like I'm breaking and entering, but meaning they don't realize that I'm exiting. So they may think, like, this is just another day, just another manic Monday. They just think it's another day where they're going to drive me crazy. And they could be manic and have tantrums and try to siphon my energy. And what I do when I'm standing in their physical house is I literally cross myself, like I'm doing spiritual work, and I say my work is done here. I will never step foot in here again. You'll never see me in your space again, because they've been so disrespectful that I'm like, what can I do? It's above me. And I did the best I could for you. That's why I could walk away and be fine after, because I did my time when I was down bad and they were treating me crazy, when they had me at their will, when I was emotionally malleable. My heart was just open, soft, and deliciously awaiting them to reciprocate even a morsel or a drop of authenticity, communication, whatever it is that I'm seeking at the time. But they don't realize the test is happening, and they think they've got infinitesimal amount of time and energy to siphon from me, and the angels say it's above you. You know, when I was in high school, guys, I played the fairy godmother, and I was working with a spiritual friend and advisor, and it was so funny because she was like, she always like comes in. I always, you know, if you see The Matrix, you know how there's the older woman that's in The Matrix that's kind of like guiding everything. She's baking the cookies and smoking the cigarettes. This is how I see my friend. And I'm not with her all the time, but there are pivotal moments where we meet up where I feel like she gives me like my next assignment, and she doesn't even know she does it, but like we'll just be talking and then she'll say something so wise and I'm like, oh, I get it. I now understand. I can put closure to this next thing. And she was like, you're a fairy godmother, but she said something so wise. Thank you if you're watching. She said, but fairy godmothers don't stay. We don't know what happens to the fairy godmother after she changes Cinderella's life, or after whatever archetype or fairy tale story that you're into where you see a fairy godmother. And it's not a coincidence that I was the bippity boppity boo lady when I was in high school in that musical, because I've learned to be transient with my energy but not see it as a negative. And I want you guys, whether you're the full fairy godmother or not, whether you realize that archetype or you embrace it or not, I want you to understand that you may be in someone's life to sprinkle a little magic, to give a little advice, to offer a little bit of help, to help someone right the ship of something, to get right, to help them understand deeper about their relationship, to help them navigate and enhance finances, to help them dive deeper into their spirituality, maybe to help them get in touch with their sexuality if you're in a romantic connection. You know, I've dated people that were repressed with their sexuality, and upon us exiting, they would say to me, who's going to love me like you love me? Who's going to make love to me like you make love to me? It's not that I'm so amazing, no, Leos. Leo, fire sign, empath, really empath, you know? We'd be amazing. And I'll tell you that, it's my favorite little quote from Flying a Boss. I'm a great fuck, but a better lover. If you're an empath, you're an incredible lover, because we connect energetically with whoever. So we figure out what they need. It's not one size fits all in lovemaking, as you guys know. So I've dated stud fams. I've dated femme-fams. I've dated studs. I've dated men. I dated a little bit of everybody. And you have to figure out what is their proclivity. But empaths, we have a unique ability to do that. I don't know who needs to hear that, but y'all are good in bed. Don't worry about it. No matter what don't let the sizes fool you. Don't let your inexperience, if you think you're inexperienced, or your overexperienced, if you think you're overexperienced, fool you. There's not many that come under your thrall that are not enchanted by you. But what I was saying, maybe that's a little message for someone who's like scared to get back out there. Like, relax, you good, sis. You good. when you are in someone's life, though, what she said was, fairy godmothers don't always stay. And I thought that's so powerful. There are times in my life, in my existence, where I am specifically guided to just be in and then maybe go away. And again, what I'm learning is my length and duration of staying in someone's life, and yours too, empath, is predicated upon their authenticity, their willingness to do the work, the shadow work too, because it will come up in your relationship, and their willingness to tell the truth and to communicate. There are some stipulations there. But sometimes I'm just transient and I'm just meant to float in and sprinkle a little magic fairy dust over them and be like bippity boppity boo. It's so funny. I found myself truly attracted to fairy archetypes in the last couple of years. I've had them all, really. I've had some jinns, which were like tricky. It's like a tricky male version, male energy of the fairy. Had some jinns. Think genie. Genie's a jinn. I've had some mermaids and I've had some fairies. But the point is, that's me. That's my fire sign ass. So everything's a fairy tale for me. But I understand the archetypes that I've been working with actually. But what I've learned from each one of them is about my own magic and theirs too, respecting that as well. And if you're a fairy godmother, you have fairy work to do. I'm not supposed to stay with all of you. And that's the same is true for clients. There are some clients that I have that I work for a long time. There's some clients that come in. They're like, you got me through this one thing. I needed your help. Thank you. I'm out. They'll come back like good, like students. They'll be like, hey, it's been 2 years. I miss you. And how are you doing? And here's how you helped me here. And that's some of my favorite stuff. There's people that I work with day after day, year after year, because that's what they need at the time. And I even imagine those people will graduate at some point, but I don't stay attached to you. Have to be close to me and attached to me always. And that goes for my relationships too. And I want you to apply that to your relationships. I think there's a way that we were raised, empath, is to just be long suffering forever. Like, I'm just never going to leave you. But in fact, if you're healthy, you will want to go. And it won't be just that you're a runner, you're a track star, and you just want to go. Though I realized that, who knew? I got my little track jacket tonight with a little sparkle, but or this morning rather. But you're not supposed to always stay, especially if it turns into abuse, especially if someone's taking you for granted. And so they will have this kind of language that they start to let slip out because they're getting cocky. Maybe they found a new supply, of which I'm always blessing them in the sweet by and by, because I know the ache that happens afterwards in my aftermath. And I don't know it because I just am full of myself. I know it because narcissists have spun the block and been like, yo, I don't know what you did to me, but I can't get it like this. And I'm like, yeah, that good empath energy. Yeah. It's not on tap. I know you thought it would be. And then I'd forever have your back and I'd forever be in your corner. I'd forever be in your life. But no. This fairy godmother takes flight. Often. Yikes. Subchanneling Nicki Minaj. Yikes. And out of town taking flights. Yikes. This fairy godmother is on a flight, whether it's a flight to my next destination, whether it's a flight spiritually speaking, but I am not here to stay with everybody. So be kind when you have someone that is sprinkling you with the fairy, or if you are the fairy that's sprinkling people with good energy, pay attention to how they treat you. You come at a cost, and that cost is respect and much more. You get to decide what that list is for you, but don't you let someone take for granted the fairy godmother work that you do, because each one of you have your own fairy godmother work. You have been a boon of love and support and care in people's lives. Don't you let them take you for granted and not treat you right, because it diminishes your energy. It literally kills you. It literally atrophies you if you stay in connections with people who refuse to see your magical fairy energy, or they take it for granted, or they think they made it. I had something happen that was such a specific, powerful lesson with this. I was soulmate dating someone, and she was playing a lot of mind games. Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise. She was playing every mind game. that was my time to learn. There's a season for learning too, even for us fairy godmothers. That was like a learning curve for me. And so I had dealt with crazy people. I had dealt with narcissistic people. I had dealt with not communicative people, but she took the cake. I know she wanted to be special. She is. I will never forget the bullshit, for goodness sake. But one of the things that really like turned me off and also let me know, oh, it's time to go, was I was actively dating her, really lavishing her with gifts and trips and all the things. You know, you know what we say, good fuck but a better lover, right? So I'm a good person to have it in life when I love someone, because I'm very generous. That's one of my secondary love languages. This is really gifts. First, words of affirmation. Can you tell? And so I was edifying her. So I'm speaking life into her. Do not take for granted empath the way that we speak life into people. We do it so well. I'm speaking life into her. I'm edifying her, but I'm also treating her very much like a fairy godmother. And she was so ungrateful and so weirdly entitled. And I knew that she had like shoved herself into all of these very uncomfortable, contorted herself into uncomfortable positions with people that didn't recognize her magic and really didn't give a single fuck about it. I knew that she had slept in cars and convinced herself that this was love and all types of bullshit. Now, I'm not talking about if you're homeless, okay? So like everybody has had a moment or two where cars where you might have slept, myself included, at different times in my life. But I'm going to tell you this. People had not treated her right. And I wanted to just come in and like kiss all the boo-boos away. The fairy godmother in me could see the energy. I wanted to like fix it, kiss it, make it better, right? And treat her the way that she called in. Because a fairy godmother doesn't appear unless there's a wish. That part. So you need to understand why you show up in people's life. You are dispatched there because they wish for you. They prayed for you. Whether they want to acknowledge it or not. Whether they are emotionally in tune with that reality or not, it is the truth. Okay, you don't show up where you what's that meme from a few years ago? Don't come for me if I didn't call for you. If I didn't call for you, if I didn't send for you, don't come for you, or whatever. People send for you, they call for you. And then they want to act like an asshole when you show up like, I'm fairy godmother. What are you doing here? I didn't ask for this. Yes, you did. Or I wouldn't be here anyway. So she was in really toxic, terrible, like crazy situations with people that were not treating her well. And there's a lot of things here, you know, my human design type, all that stuff. I understood specifically. I was observing and I was like, I know exactly how to fix this. I also know what you need. I also know how to replenish you and how to speak life into. I also know how to make you better and actually like rebrand you. Like that's one of my talents, is rebranding people into their better, best selves. And after soaking up all my energy and siphoning all my energy and taking all my things and whatever, which is fine. I'm never like a weird Indian giver like that. I'm like, keep it. Keep it all and enjoy it. And remember, you'll remember me. Awesome, like Keith Urban shit. Because I'm going to go on and still be a fairy. Empath, never forget, you are still always a fairy. My occupation is never out of need. I always have another thing to sprinkle some fairy dust on it. So, in any case, she says something to me and I will never ever forget it. She was really trying to like play mind games and make it seem like she wasn't interested, even though she literally was obsessed and wouldn't leave me alone. It was the craziest thing. It was the craziest juxtaposition I'd ever experienced. And I'm not just saying that like a toxic guy, like, why are you so obsessed with me? She was obsessed. No. Truly, actually, truly. What a betrayal to herself. That's how you know someone is not living in authenticity. Because my angels were really showing me like, oh, this is how she really feels about you. Is she entitled, and is she being rude, and is she easily influenced by outside things? Certainly. But let's talk about what's at the depths of her soul. Which I'm not just saying that to say that to you. Upon her spinning, she was very clear about her absolute passionate love for me. But while she was in front of me, it was a shenanigan. But what she said to me that really turned me off and had me like, I just flipped a switch. She was like, she was saying that she was talking to her therapist and telling her therapist how beautiful it was to be single and how proud she was of herself for having been single. and how she had just navigated this year of singleness so whatever. Now we were actively together, and she would say as much, so mind games because fun. But that was what I was realizing she was telling her everyone. Does that make sense? My angels are like, are you listening to this shit? This is what she's telling her friends and family, even if they know about you and whatever, and she's centering the relationship and all the bullshit lies that she said to me. The truth is that she was seeing herself as a single person when you had been loving her so completely. Empath, I want you to check relationships where you've been maybe loving an F boy or an F girl, giving them your world, making them your world, okay? And they're looking at you like, not only can I take it or leave it, but they're gaslighting themselves into thinking that you're not shit, that you're not offering anything, that their life isn't raising in vibration, that they aren't attracting more, that they're not in a better station, that things just aren't flowing to them completely. And my angel started to get pissed. She had something happening in her life where she was able to get something for free or at a great discount, and my angels were like, we're shutting down every way that she could connect with you, so maybe when you leave her life she'll get that thing back. But they were like, we don't want you around her at all. And I was like, really? Because I was rooting for it. I wanted her around still. I was still in my own delulu, okay? Even a fairy godmother can have a little delulu. But see, the thing is, I know the end. Even if I live in delulu for a moment, I still know what the outcome is, because that's my psychic gift, really. But in any case, they shut down like portals of access for her and various things because they were like, this disrespectful bitch. Your ancestors and your angels will ride for you, and they are championing you, and they are so frustrated with some of the people that we allow, but they'll allow them around as long as we do, because we have free will. But I will never forget that. It was such a powerful lesson, and I thought, this is why this person was dispatched into me, and this is why I was dispatched into her, was for me to learn this lesson so I could teach you, so you never ever forget. Do not underestimate the way you make people feel. She felt so good that she was literally disregarding the fairy godmother effect. She really was like, oh no, this has nothing to do with you. I built this myself. And my angel says, say less. Say less, sis. She built it herself. Please remove your energy. They were just waiting on me. My angels were so mad at me. You know when you do double dutch and they're like, jump in, jump out, introduce yourself. Like, my angels were like spinning the double dutch thing faster and faster and faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. And they were doing it like very like aggressively. They were like, fuck this bitch. Seriously, that's exactly how your ancestors, angels, I know y'all feel a way about curses sometimes, but I'm not gonna lie. I have no reason to lie, y'all. The way your ancestors and your spirit team will ride for you, they were so frustrated because they were like, this woman feels like she's single. They said that let her be. They said this is the best single she's ever had because she is attached to a fairy godmother. Because she was attached to a fairy godmother, and she's disrespecting you in your face and acting like what you're doing, what you've done, and the way that you've loved her is for naught. And she was so disrespectful, and they said, we will make sure that this is mirrored back to her in a myriad of ways. Because also, y'all, you hear a lot of chosen now on the internet. Here's the thing about being chosen. Everyone is, but do people answer the call? Sis, you do. You did. God did. A lot of people could be chosen. It's not that we're so special. What we choose to do is live in a way that is harder sometimes than the rest of those around us will choose. And it means that we'll say no, we'll be integral, we won't tell the lie when we want to, we'll try to be good to the person who we know is being an asshole to us. I compassionately leave relationships and make sure that they have someone who they can trust and fall into, because I'm never going to pick up any more of their boo-boo. I'm never kissing any boo-boos. I'm never picking up any more boo-boo. I've got work to do, and it has nothing to do with them. They'll never be allowed back in. Access not granted. But in that moment, I learned something. People will siphon your energy and swear to God they did it. And I was like, if you've never lived a life like this, if your relationships have never been like this, if you couldn't manifest the things that you have since we have been together, not together, then manifest it again. You know, I feel very much like Drake when he said, you know, I lost a notebook. You know, I lost, you know, $1 million in a notebook, but I'll write another one. Well, Drake, that's relative, right? But Drake does have his own sauce and dressing. Like, can't be denied, even with his BS. The point is this. You are the sauce and you are the dressing, empath. And a lot of people will be fully dressed up. They dress their dry ass salad and be fully swimming in your dressing and all your accoutrement, because we know what makes a salad delicious. It's a shit on top of it. And you are the sprinkling on top of it. Even the iceberg is not nutritious, right? So even if they put in a little arugula and they might have a little pepper, and I'm not saying everyone doesn't have their own magic, but empath, we come with a different magic pack. And we come with a starter pack of magic. And so I was like, oh, okay, say less, sis. You're single? And then let you be single and live in that. This was the best single year of your life because I was dating you. That part. It was so crazy to me. People are so wildly disrespectful. And that was her playing in my face too. That was all mind games and shenanigans. And that's also discarding language, okay? That's someone who is like actively playing their own games with their friends and family, getting ready to discard you actually. And what I always say is pull a rug up underneath them so completely and make sure it's something they never see. And as I say never see, I mean see coming. So I just let people think like, oh, I'm behind you and I'm running. I am chasing and I can't, you're just so delicious. I can't never get enough, sis. Can never get enough. But I was fed up. And I was also like, it was disrespectful. I'm a teacher, organically. So I was like, wow. So the teacher that stayed after school to tutor you, that's poured extra time and energy into you. I'm not saying you got to like kiss the ring at all. A teacher is happy to see you succeed and pass that test. But you're not going to act like my time wasn't worth something and that my energy didn't turn the ship. It wasn't the rudder. It wasn't the steering wheel that literally floated. It wasn't the ballast to help you get some balance in your fucking life. So when people want to talk to you crazy and not treat you right, then you excuse yourself from their life. I wonder how single feels for her now. Even if she's fully together with someone, I'm sure it's still less fruitful, nutritious, and abundant as when we were single together somehow. Okay? Because I know what I bring to the table. You better know what you bring to the table, because those people that are opportunists know what you bring to the table. She knew she hit the fucking jackpot, energetically speaking, but she wanted to be disrespectful. I also had said something recently about someone who said, I hit the jackpot, but I felt like she's so lovely, and I feel like I hit the jackpot with her too. So it's reciprocated. I'm not playing in her face. I always speak to her gifts, what she's offered me, how she's helped me to pivot. I'm not just taking it being like, I came to these revelations totally by myself. No, they dispatched in this other person to be of service to me when I was in need, even though I didn't even understand I was in need, actually. So I'm never going to look at the other person and be like, oh, I just jackpotted myself. No, she was a jackpot to me too. If she feels that way about me, then we love reciprocity. And that's how you flourish. Authenticity and reciprocity. Versus, I built it myself. I did it. Fuck you, sis. And that's what I was getting. A lot of you guys will get that energy where someone's looking you in the face. They don't want you to leave. The way that person didn't want me to leave, but wanted me to like, I don't know. It was so strange. She wanted me to like bend my knee and, kiss whatever ring that I gave her specifically. Like, I was like, what ring, bitch? What are you don't have gravitas, sis. It doesn't mean she won't ever have it, but it means she will not build it off of my back or off of my fairy godmother magic. If you are magic, then let's see. Build that completely. The referendum specifically on Drake is like, he's got, the OVO house and everybody's writing and doing whatever, but there's something about Drake. Because Drake is written for people and people have talked about it. Kanye, various people have talked about Drake writing for them too. So Drake is capable of writing, clearly. He's written for Beyonce, all of that. But the thing about it is that there is something about Drake. Drake has his own whatever, no matter je ne sais quoi, no matter how we feel about him, no matter how Kendrick eviscerated him, he isn't Drake for no reason. When I hear some of the reference tracks that were written for him versus how Drake says it and does it, even if he's totally ripping it, it's just different. It hits different, and all of us know it. We don't have to like him to be able to be honest and objective to say he is, for whatever reason, a star in his own way. Don't let people look you in your face and try to tell you, empath, that you're not a star in their life. And that you are not enhancing their life, and whatever the case may be. Again, back to that. Oh, you're single? Then be single without me. See how good single feels without me. See how good single feels when you don't have someone loving you and being kind to you and being thoughtful for you and cupcaking on the phone with you infinitesimally. See how does single feel? How does that feel? Or be in a relationship with someone where you still are thinking about me, because that will happen, empath. People will act fucking crazy with you, maybe go off and be in another whole ass relationship and still fantasizing about the love you gave them. I've had exes spin the block. I've had ex-narcs spin the block. I've had people I actually love spin the block too. But it never fails that they're like, damn, I miss you. Oh, you sure? Because you didn't miss me when I was in your face. You were acting crazy and ungrateful. And that's my kryptonite as a Leo. I don't know what to do with ingratitude, because I'm always grateful for everything that's given to me. And a lot of you empaths here watching are the same, actually. So pay attention to that distancing language and then snatch that rug from underneath them completely. But you'll know you want to snatch the rug because you're sick of it. You don't want to be around them. You don't want to talk to them. I truly fantasize about leaving. Like, I will be playing like what I'm going to say to them to get out of it, because I'm tired of it. And that only happens when someone has abandoned the principles that built our healthy at one time relationship. Because if I am building anything, and if you're building anything, empath, we're building it predicated on foundational structures and boundaries that can stand the test of time. If it gets corrosive and crumbles, it's not to say that you never did anything wrong, but it's usually because someone else was on demon time. They either allowed their jealousy to get in, their insecurities to get in, outside voices to get in, third-party karmics to get in. You name it, but you have experienced exactly what I'm saying, where you're in a connection with someone, it's going a certain kind of great way, and then all of a sudden, they are playing in your face. Well, then let them play. And karma will also find them to continue to let them play too. Because nothing compares to you. I'm channeling Sinead O'Connor. Nothing compares to you. Collective. Nothing compares to you. So love yourself. Be kind to yourself. Do the work you need to do with yourself, because nothing compares to you. Honor yourself. Know that when new people are coming in, make sure that they're going to do the work, and it's not just a group project where you're carrying everything. You understand? We've all been in those group projects. If you're an empath, if you're codependent, you pulled the weight. Even if it's not in school, it's in a relationship where you were doing all the work and they were like, thank you. Like that ungrateful, vermicious Canid told me. Oh, it's so beautiful being single, actually. Were you single, sis? Now you might be, or you might not be, but even when you're in another relationship, you're going to feel single without me. Understand that you're that powerful. It sounds cocky, but it's the truth. I know what I give. I know who I am. I know how I show up. And I know that it's not just about things, and it's not just about advice. I'm infusing someone that's connected to me with love. Love for their life, love for their goals, love for the things they thought they couldn't attain, love for things that are out of their reach. I am showing them bippity boppity boo exactly how to speak it into existence, how to pull it into existence, how to understand the world around them, how to psychologically read the room. I am teaching them things that they need to do for survival. Because when a fairy godmother comes through, it may not be forever. But when I leave, you will still have those skill sets that can take you into other parts of your destiny and your dreams. You don't need to be always proximal to me, but if you are proximal to an empath fairy, or you are the empath fairy godmother that someone is proximal to, they goddamn better be respectful of you, because we always have somewhere else to go, some other work to do, someone else to be dispatched to. And the only thing that sweetens that moment is the kindness and the reciprocity when they show up and show us, and we show back to them how good life can be. So pay attention to the language, and don't let anybody play in your face. If they're telling you they don't want you there, then put on your track shoes, be the runner and the track star, go on the race. Okay, race away from them, run away from them. No, don't let anybody tell you more than once that they don't want you, that they don't like you. I'm not just talking about friendship dynamics or soulmate assignments. In a relationship, if someone, that disrespectful shit she did was enough. I was like, oh, you don't want to do this, you don't want to do that, you don't want to, okay, good, check, and checkmate. Excellent. Now make another me. Since this was so easy for you and you conjured all this by yourself, do it again. Do it right now. Right now. How's life going? And I know that sounds mean, but y'all, the way that they're in your face, my angels have sanctioned and allowed me to be that kind of level of accountability with them. Because people are disrespectful AF. And they're like, I could just rebuild you, friend. Can you? Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Let me know how that goes for you. You better know how good you are. You better know how much work you also have to do, and that it is a privilege to be proximal to you. I think it's a privilege to be proximal to some of the people that have been dispatched into me. So it's not just like one way, actually. The people that I'm like, hey, I like the work you're doing. I like how you show up. I like that there's no BS with you. Whatever. I'm like, how lucky am I that I'm running into tribesmen and fellow friends that have the same kind of energy that I traffic in. That's a blessing. That's not how life has always been. I have not always just had people that were authentic and honest as fuck with me. Okay? Even if it was not something of which I always agreed. There are a lot of people in my life, I don't always agree with them, but they're honest with me. So I'm like, you know what? You gonna stay for many more days because I can work with this. What I can't work with is people that feign disinterest when they're actually obsessed. Y'all know what I'm talking about. People that are dishonest with themselves, so they're going to lie to you, and then they still want to hold you accountable to stay proximal to them so that they can do some more siphoning work. They have more siphoning work to do. They're not done with you. You're not a husk of yourself yet. So they still want to suck off of you. Don't go anywhere because you make life lighter. You make the room brighter. You're a vibe. I'm chilling that song. I know I'm fine, but the money makes me finer. I can't think of who that is. I know I'm fine, but the money makes me finer. Your energy makes you finer. Your energy is your currency. It is your money, okay? It's not actual guap and dinero. Maybe that too for some of you, but you are fine. But that energy and that light, hey, come on, light. That light makes you finer, okay? So people want to be close to you, but they want to siphon that from you. That pretend it's their shit. And we all have our own magic. And that's what makes me so sad for those people that I've had to disembark from. Because I'm like, I can see your magic, son. And if you could get secure in yourself, I could teach you how you could win. Instead of thinking that you have to siphon from everyone that's proximal to you. You have magic in you. You watching have magic in you. You get a couch. You get a couch. We all have magic in us. Not any one of us is more special than the other, but it's how you cultivate that. And a lot of that comes from being just honest and standing up for yourself. It's a lot of hard work, and it's not stuff that people always want to do. But don't let them siphon all of your energy and then try to lie to you that you're not magic. You're magic as fuck. Probably one of the most magic people they've ever had in their life, and they will know it in your absence because in your presence, they fucking couldn't treat you right. So when you're fantasizing about breaking up with them and you're thinking about it day and night, then maybe my sweet fairy godmothers in training or fairy godmothers in reality, it might be time to take flight. There are other people that are dispatched in. There are other people that will help you win, that you can help win. There are other people that will be honorable and give you credit where you need to be credited. And maybe there are people that you can give credit to who have been on your journey and dispatched in to help you. Always speak well over the people that come in with a level of something. Like I have one friend that came in with indignation. She was indignantly angry at a situation going on in my life. And through her eyes, I was able to see how not right it was because I had depth perception and blindness because of my proximal connection to whatever that situation was. And she didn't advise me to leave or go or stay or be angry in a certain way, but I got to channel her anger, and I saw I had let someone play in my fucking face, and I was losing. That's what happens when people siphon my magic, or it was being hidden from me and siphoned into someone else's energy. And just that connection, even though she did not say anything to me like go left, go right, nothing like that, but just her presence, and I'll never let her forget it, helped me to take my power back. So even a fairy godmother needs someone who's going to have her back. You know, I talked about Michael Jackson in one of my videos. There's something about being protected, but I don't go up to people and say, will you protect me? Will you love me? But I can tell when people are sent in to be intercessor prayer warriors for me, or people that will love me or be on my team and fight for me energetically and want for me better and wish for me well. You have people like that too, that are wanting for you better, wishing for you well, that are being dispatched into you, but never don't thank them. There isn't a client, there isn't a friend, there isn't a fairy, there isn't a fae, there isn't a djinn or a mermaid that's been sent my way that even if they went rogue and they couldn't stay, that I didn't say thank you for what you've done for me today, on this day, yesterday, and the days to come. I give them their flowers because that's only what's fair. It's not because about what I need back reciprocally, but it's about honoring when someone is sent into your life to help you up level exponentially. You better say thank you. Have gratitude in your chest. Have thank you in your throat. Have hope and real appreciation in your heart. Because we don't know how long someone is going to stay to continue to play a part in our elevation in a certain way. Some of these people I talked about are literally out of my life forever. But from each one of them, even the most toxic, I extracted lessons. From that fairy that was on that bullshit, I realized how much of a blessing my energy was. And how I watched it bless her life. And I watched how in the hands of someone who could never be right. Sorry, I'm getting client calls already, texts already. How I watched how someone could never be right, and they were never going to get right in my energy. That sometimes the lesson is just being proximal to someone who is treating you dastardly, so you can remember what a queen you are and should always be, okay? Even she, with all her nonsense and toxicity, taught me beautiful lessons about how to love myself better and about how not to let people close to me that don't love themselves, actually, while they're wanting to project and play those reindeer games. So break up with people if it's something you're fantasizing about. Pay attention to their distancing language. If you are compassionate and you care, make sure they have a safety net to fall back on, because in your absence, you're going to need it. And also, please know that you deserve people that will have your back too, and be kind to them. Say thank you. If you're in my collective, I need you to say thank you. I need you to look at the people that love you, call them, text them today, and say thank you for showing up for me in the special way that you do. Because without you, I would not have gotten through fill in the blank, or I would not have seen this way. And sometimes people are just in to do that. It's very okay with me if some of the people in my life don't stay, because I realize maybe they were sent in to just help me get through this next day. And you need to know that about your energy too, empath. You may not always stay with everyone around you, but be integral, show up, and do the good work that you're called to. So that when you are gone, because for many of you guys, you will not stay long, you can have them even look back, even if they were villainous, ungrateful, and treacherous to you, and they will be able to say, I see what you did, and I thank you. Even if you never hear it, even if they never say that to you, in their spirit, they will have to have a reckoning if it is good work that you did do. That's why I do good work everywhere I go, because I know that principle always, always stands true. People will not remember what you said to them fully or what you did, but my Angela said they will remember how you made them feel. So, be real when you show up in people's lives. Be authentic. Tell the truth. And long after the memory of what you look like or sounded like evaporates, how you affected them and made them feel will linger. Was it good? Was it bad? Was it great? Even if it was a disrespectful disembarkation, if you showed up and did work right and you didn't play in their face, they will have no choice but to be honest, even if it's just to themselves, finally, in the far distant future someday, and say, man, that fairy godmother was dispatched in, and she did nothing but not play in my face when she was in front of me. In fact, she only tried to love and enhance me. Some people are fucked up. You can't stay to fix everyone, but sprinkle some of that magic and then move on to the next one. All right? So good sharing energy with you. Come back and join me next time. We'll continue to evolve together.